The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Come, let us worship together. To begin this morning, please hear these words of giving by John Morgan. In the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we have given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we live. It won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we love. Sometimes the pages don't turn. This morning, as we light candles for joys, challenges, or just light in the room, we will also gratefully accept any offerings from your generosity. Please sit in stillness and listen to the prelude. Please rise in body or spirit for our chalice lighting and spoken affirmation. We light this chalice flame, symbol of the love at our center, to center and guide us as we take on the challenge of our shared faith. Join me as together we remind ourselves of the spoken affirmation that is a cornerstone of our free faith tradition. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. We light this peace candle to remind us of all the places in the world where there is no peace. Join me in the words now on the screen. Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Our opening thought is from the Introduction to Theological Reflection on the proposed revision to Article 2 by Reverend Dr. Sherry Prudhomme. In reflecting on the interplay of Unitarian Universalism's theological heritage and the shared values from the UUA Bylaws revision of Article 2, I offer some pieces, like those of a patchwork quilt, that don't aim to be an end unto themselves, but a beginning. I hope they will inspire your engagement with our theological heritage and our contemporary expressions of Unitarian Universalism. In a patchwork quilt, each piece of fabric contains a story in itself, where, when, and how it was made, what other garment or fabric it was once a part of, who created and touched the fabric. Sewn together, the quilt collectively tells other stories and goes on to be a part of yet more stories in the lives of the many beings who interact with it. In piecing together our theological heritage as Unitarian Universalists, we draw from many sources. They are text-based sources passed down through the years. The written works of sermons, essays, and books. For some of us, it's easy to get pulled into an exclusive relationship with the written word and forget the myriad other sources for theological reflection, as my colleague Dr. Takia Amin recently reminded me. We can also draw from the lived experiences of Unitarian Universalists, the architecture of our churches, the music and hymns we invoke in worship, the patterns and habits of our lives, our organizations, and our histories. Some of us grapple with the very notion of theology. Dr. Anthony Penn, a contemporary humanist theologian, influential in Unitarian Universalism, can be helpful here. In his book, The End of God Talk, An African-American Humanist Theology, he writes, "Theology is a method for critically engaging, articulating, and discussing the deep existential and ontological issues endemic to human life. In naming the subject of theology as the deepest questions of existence and of being, both inextricably woven into human life, Penn helps us break free from the false but often touted idea that theology is solely the study of God, as the Greek roots of the word might lead us to conclude. Theology is about what it means to be human in the cosmos, how we are related to all that is, including that which we hold to be most sacred."
Well, it's no longer proposed. At GA in June of 2024, attendees passed our new Article 2. And so today, we're going to look at those new statements of values, the statements that go along with each of these words. And you will see mixed in these words our original 8 principles. They're not listed as such anymore, but that doesn't mean we as a congregation cannot continue to use those 8 because we are a polity church. We can decide we want to use the 8 principles as well as the values. The values are designed for Article 2 of the UUA Bylaws. And it begins with these words, for every action. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. I've put the words here on the screen. I'm gonna read them to you, but you can also be reading them to yourself. These words are actually part of the bylaws now. And so for love, our new UU values use these words. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. We're having a slightly different format this morning. I'm going to suggest some ideas for meditation. We're going to do a meditation, and it will be followed by a song that goes along with this particular value. So spend some time reflecting on what love, as the center of our Unitarian Universalist faith tradition, might mean to you. When in your life have you felt loved? When has community caught and cared for you? We will have a minute of silence while you contemplate these questions or simply think about love as a spiritual practice rooted in community. This will be followed by the hymn, There is Love Holding Us. May we remember our covenant and our connection to each other, and let love guide us to be our best selves every day. This is what is said about interdependence. We honor the independent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life, and with humility we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Spend some time reflecting on what interdependence means for you. Take a moment to be present to nature and to notice the ecosystems around you. Who and what you are connected to in your own life. Think about the places, the people, the animals that are most important to you during this minute of silence, followed by the hymn, "We Are Not Our Own."
We are not our own, earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life divine. We are not alone, earth names us, past and present, peoples near and far, family and friends and strangers, show us who we are. Therefore let us make thanksgiving, and with justice willing and aware, give to earth and all things living liturgies of care. Let us lay our house of welcome, living stone upholding living stone, gladly showing all our neighbors we are not our own.
May we remember our covenant and our connection to each other and our parent Earth, wherever we may be. Pluralism is our next word. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. When do you feel like you've been different in your life? When have you been the one being curious and careful with someone who was different from you? During the next minute of silence, reflect on the beauty of our gathered differences and how difference has been a factor in your life. It will be followed by the hymn, Building Bridges.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and reach out our visions. With all of our voices and reach out our visions. With all of our voices and reach out our visions. With all of our voices and reach out our visions. With all of our voices and reach out our visions. With all of our voices and reach out our visions. With all of our voices and reach out our visions. With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Together, we celebrate our differences. May we take time to see and hear each other and to continue to connect across our various identities, understandings, and preferences. Justice is our next word. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large. What does the term beloved communities mean to you, and how does that relate to the work you are doing in covenant together? Reflect on this in the next minute of silence, which will be followed by Building a New Way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We can feed our every need. Every need. We can feed our every need. Every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, our world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. A new way, a new way, a new
I envy them, their brass and house band. May we work to include everyone in the circle and to use our anger to help and not to hurt, to create more justice in the world. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. What has transformed for you recently? Have you been going through any changes recently, or are you looking ahead to coming changes? In this next minute of silence, reflect on how you can be open to change. The song Spirit of Life will follow. In the midst of all that is changing in the world and our communities and ourselves, may we know that we are enough and we are not alone. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. When recently have you experienced generosity and hope? What practices of generosity do you try to keep in your day-to-day life? Or is this something you would like to cultivate? Reflect on the question of generosity and hope in your next life in this next moment of silence, followed by the song, Power of Kindness.
I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. We don't know what's coming, but we can help shape what's ahead. Kindness as our currency, the commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, all, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Look up now, people, but keep your ear to the ground. We are the river flowing, generosity abound. So give a little, all, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Honeybees serve sweetness only to help the world bloom, bringing love to the flower, from the flower to the fruit. We can learn a thing or two. So give a little, all, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. We don't know what's coming, we can help shape what's ahead. Kindness as our currency, Commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, all, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Ooh, then follow, 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 follow. Power of love. Give it away, give it away. Whoa, whoa, what generosity. Away, love, love. Ooh, it's free, it's free, it's free, it's free to give and to receive. Power, body, power, power, power of love, power of love.
May we remember that all of us are part of something bigger than ourselves, and all our needs are important. We can care for each other and make a better world. The next word is equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. Where in your life have you had space to flourish and felt your inherent dignity and worthiness was recognized? What comes up for you when you think about creating accessibility in your community? In this last moment of silence, reflect on how we honor and make space for each other. It will be followed by the hymn or the song, How Could Anyone?
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole. How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected.
May we remember that all of us need all of us to make it. That means each of us matters and has inherent dignity and worthiness. May we care for each other and work for fairness in our world. Our program says JetPig is next. What in the world would this have to do with our Article 2 changes? Well, RE leaders have come up with this image to help children and adults remember our 6 values: justice, equity, transformation, plurality, interdependence, generosity, with love at the center. And they're actually using the jet pig, the little pig with a jet on his back, that they're using in the RE classes for them to help remember. And here's the song that goes with it.
What makes you a true you? Love at the core of what you do. We commit to work as a team to make our values more than a dream. JetPig helps us keep in mind Jetbit helps us keep in mind 6 values that UUs had to find.
Now, if you're like me, and we've got 6 new values with love at the center, how are we going to remember these? Yeah, JetPig will help us, but the worship team has provided all of us with a lovely memory tool for each of us to help remember these 6 values and love. You may have more than one of these if you wish.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the closing thought and extinguishing the chalice. Our closing thought is from the conclusion to theological reflection on the proposed revision to Article 2 by Reverend Dr. Sherry Prudhomme. There is no doubt that our theological heritage, as our present, is filled with paradox, contradiction, failures, successes, shortcomings, and brilliant aspirations. The patchwork quilt of our theological heritage is torn and fraying in places, and it is stunningly vibrant in others. Some sections have been mended or wholly replaced. Articulating theology as well as living in religious community is a messy business. As we mature spiritually, as a tradition and as a people, we develop our capacities to be with the broken and the beautiful, the contradictions and the complexities. As Unitarian Universalist Association's current president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, said in the 2018 Service of the Living Tradition, and reprinted at the beginning of the chapter on theology and widening the circle of concern, we are on a journey toward redemption with the strength of generations, the failure of every day, and the deep down gritty messiness that is the promise of our salvation. There is inherent goodness that exists between and among us. I want to honor the weary, ragged miracle that is our living tradition. With love stitched in from the beginning and sewn throughout the piecing and the mending across the decades, even a worn and ragged quilt provides strength, inspiration, courage, and solace through the long night. Please join me in saying the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace, return in love.
There was no program.
Oh, yeah.